It's Thanksgiving, a time to give thanks. Oh yeah, for the love that fills our hearts and the joy it brings. Oh yeah, from the food on plates to the laughter we share. It's Thanksgiving, a time to show care.
Hey, look at that. We're finally recording, and this time we only had 10 minutes worth of technical difficulties. I don't know who's in charge of running the show, but we got to fire the person because every week it's taken forever to connect to people, or maybe we just, withhold their wages. I don't know.
The rest of us have been talking about firing that guy. We've had a private little group chat, and
yeah,
been talking about getting rid of that guy.
Yeah, we got a game plan. You'll see. It's coming.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, I am J-Dubs. This is JK'z Rewatch Bar. I'm so flustered right now. I'm going to get fired on the air, and I thought that only happened in wrestling. So I got a bunch of Mr. McMahons with me. We are going to talk Thanksgiving today. And as usual, I'm going to butcher where everybody is lined up because how I am viewing everybody does not happen when we upload it, and it goes to the editing department. So below me is Mr. Eric Evans. To the right of him is my wife, Jen. To the right of her is Alene Clark. Above her is George Muzzy. And in the middle is Miss Becky Cherwalk. How are you all doing tonight?
Good.
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Right.
Good. It'd be better if I wasn't like on the hot seat, like I'm going to get fired like my Chicago Bears coach, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's Thanksgiving, and you guys are throwing me, just like that. But so it's Thanksgiving, right? It's 2 weeks away from today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, pretty close.
What's that?
Yeah, 2 weeks, right on Thursday. Yep.
I was thinking, how would we lead into the show? And I know that George is very against us showering together, but, Thanksgiving is a time to, spend with friends. Oh, wait, maybe he can sit. Oh, darn. So, one of the things I'm thankful for is we've been doing this for about 11 months. And it really just started out. I don't really know. We were talking with Becky one day, and she offered to do her story, and then it grew into Alene and Jackie and Jen and George. We had Bill Verity, Beth Brown. Now we have Eric. And I'm just very thankful for the people who want to help everybody involved with this show, this podcast, just continue to grow. So I just want to personally say thank you to everybody. And that's what I'm thankful for tonight, right here.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Welcome.
So what is some of the what is a typical Thanksgiving day to each and all of you? I'll start. Jen, you go first.
Working.
she works almost. Yep. But before that, you and your parents used to have a. We'll get to what your dad makes. It's awesome. But yeah, unfortunately, Jen works because of her job. She works every Thanksgiving, not the whole day, thank God. But George, what about you? What's your typical Thanksgiving?
It's changed a lot. Since when my wife's grandmother was alive, we the whole family, 40, 50 people would meet at their house. And yeah, all of their kids, and all of the grandkids would all meet, and we'd have the traditional Thanksgiving, with turkey, stuffing, all of that, and that's what we would do. We would spend the whole day there. After she passed away, for a while, we met. We actually didn't meet at anybody's house. We actually rented out the Lodi Fire Hall on that day, and we all met there. Bigger area, bigger kitchen. Now it's kind of dwindled down to just my in-laws and their kids and our kids. But the only problem is this year it's probably just going to be my family, because you guys all know that Jennifer has her youngest brother is handicapped.
Yep.
Mentally, physically he's in his 40s. Mentally he's like 7. He doesn't like our son. So we're probably going to have a small, just our kids here at the house this year.
There's nothing wrong with that. No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So Miss Alene, I know that you're probably up early baking, cooking. Why don't you tell us about your typical Thanksgiving day?
Usually I'm the one that does all the cooking. And that's not going to change this year, but my parents aren't going to be able to come because my pops is going in to have his hip replaced next Thursday.
Oh.
So I'm hoping my mom can come over and grab a couple to-go containers so that they can at least eat something.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's just going to probably be my kids and mom.
But typically, I'm sure like you're always up baking, cooking, prepping, cooking, and correct?
Oh yeah, I usually start about 3 days ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, because we all get pictures of the cookies and all that. So yeah. Eric, what's your typical Thursday?
Well, I mean, kind of like what George was saying with the family history. Since when I was younger, we we had a basic Thanksgiving pretty much. Sit around, watch football, all that kind of stuff. And then as I got older, moved on my own down in the South, and it was just me and my girlfriend at the time, my wife, and we basically the same thing. We got simple, just a simple day. It wasn't very complicated. There was times we'd get, a big family gathering, but it didn't happen very often. It was basically a basic day. And my wife usually had to work Thanksgiving, and she still does work Thanksgiving. So that made it kind of challenging. And, I'm home getting the, things ready to go, and the kids help and all that kind of stuff. So when she gets home, she's got a meal to eat and things like that after working all day. Other than that, it's just a good family day. We make the best out of it. And just one of the things we always did when the kids were younger, when my parents were alive and my wife's parents were, we'd all come together, is you break the wishbone, and whoever won the wishbone break had to do the dishes after the dinner was cooked, and everybody ate. So that was the big excitement, for the wishbone. Right. So you wish you don't have to do the dishes. Sorry to bring up dishes again, but
yeah, it kind of sucks that your wife Christine and my wife Jen always work, but that's their job, that the profession that they chose. So, but
exactly.
Yeah. So, Miss Becky, what is your typical Thanksgiving day? And by the way, before she answers, hi sideshow John.
Busy. I'm still eating my fucking dinner.
So Becky, tell everybody about your typical Thanksgiving day.
Now our typical day is John will usually start getting the turkey ready. You might not know this, but John was a classically trained chef. So we usually work on things together. We get the turkey going, and I usually bake my bread for my stuffing the day before because it's easier to work with, because if it's too soft, then it doesn't turn out right. And we do your traditional turkey, stuffing, gravy, mashed potatoes, squash, my cranberry sauce. Casey will actually eat a whole bag of cranberries himself, so I have to make double. They really like it. And I usually just do a couple pies, like one apple and one pumpkin. We don't go crazy. Our first Thanksgiving here, we were out in the dining room, and it's just too much for Casey. so we just stay out here in the kitchen, and
Understand?
we do the same thing at Christmas most of the time. John and I will have the rib roast. Meanwhile, the kids are having chicken tenders because with their limitations, it's just easier to cater to them instead of making everyone else uncomfortable. It's hard to because if they get that upset over something, it's hard to get them back on track for days. Um, we used to have, when I lived in Lodi and Charlie's mom was still alive, even before he died, Charlie's one aunt would come over. And little did I know that she was taking home over half the leftovers because she was going home to have put dinner on for her boyfriend the next day and claim that she made it. And then when Charlie passed away, she started making up stories about me, and we kind of have severed ties. That's a big long story, and I won't drag it all out, but we don't communicate with her because of things that she said. And whenever she would come over, she would always force the kids to get out of their seats to go sit somewhere else because she wanted to sit there. And I'm like,
Wow.
I don't know if you understand how autism works sometimes, but if you're sitting in that kid's spot, they're not gonna eat. They're gonna throw a tantrum. And she was like, they can just get over it. It's just one day. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. But usually while we're prepping dinner, we've got the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on, and it's not like it used to be, but it's still on for background noise. We're not usually watching it. And then of course the dog show comes on, and we're always looking for, whatever favorite dog we have, and then after that it's Christmas movies. That's when I start playing on my, I watch some of them year round, but you have to watch. I watch Christmas Vacation and Elf and Rudolph. We just make it a nice quiet day at home. The kids don't really like to go out. Nobody comes over, and so instead of making the huge meal that I used to, we just have a small amount. It just happens to be the Thanksgiving Day fare, and I even picked up a smaller turkey this year because honestly, we want the stuffing and mashed potatoes. We don't really want a lot of turkey, So
Right. Yeah, but you just keep it simple, and everybody's happy. So yeah.
It keeps things on track with the kids, so they're not. I always would have to have dinner at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and so Charlie's aunt could make it back to Syracuse before dark.
All right.
And the thing is we'd have it at 1, and she'd stay until 7:30, and it's way past dark. And so I was like, nope. So after things, went south with that part, and we didn't have to cater to her, I catered to my kids. So Thanksgiving dinner is a dinner time. We're not going to go out of our way, and there's no point in having it at noon because they're not going to eat it.
Right. Absolutely.
So
it was funny. No, it was funny when you said cranberry sauce. Jen and I have a funny story of her father, my father-in-law, and cranberry sauce. But so just as for me, I never, up until I bought the house, I always go to my sister Lori's, which some of you, or all of you might probably know. And she, I just bring whatever she asks, and we make the most of it. It's dwindled. I mean, there used to be so much food, but then as her kids grew up and people pass on or whatever, there's just not a need for that much food. But it's something that we've been doing for decades, and because Lori always had the bigger house, and so when I was getting a turkey from work, I never had any need for her, so I just gave it away anyways. But now that I have a house, I start keeping some of that stuff. But so it just seems like each of us do what is what we all prefer, which I really like. I love the fact that people just do what makes them happy. And what is Jen? I want you to tell everybody about your dad's mashed potatoes. Now, just before you do, you got to hear me out. The first time I tried them, Jen knows it. I couldn't eat them. I literally was like this. I was like, I'm like, you guys got any gravy? Luckily, they had gravy. However,
And I was disgusted with you.
okay, hold on. But they are the most incredible mashed potatoes. Jen, tell everybody what's in it.
Not telling them what's in it. It's a secret.
Tell them what's in it. It is not.
He puts the butter, cream, milk, ranch dressing, cream cheese, I think. I've got it written somewhere. A little bit of purity eggnog and a pinch of pumpkin spice, which I never knew was in there until my mom told me. But they went to Florida one year to visit my aunt and uncle, and I had to make them. And I just kept adding milk and ranch dressing, more ranch dressing, just till it was right, because I was always my dad's taste tester. Okay, did I do it good? I'm like, yep.
Now, when I say I didn't like them is because, so my father-in-law's name is Jim. He told me what was in it. And the moment he said ranch dressing, I'm like, but we were at Jen's house in Rhineland, so I did try a little bit, but I'm just like, but however, they are damn good. And I really do mean that. And yeah, and they put them in.
So
Yeah. My entire family likes them. Alene, what is one dish that you always put a lot of effort into every year, and it's always like the hit of Thanksgiving?
Macaroni and cheese.
From scratch, obviously, right?
Yep.
Really?
I can vouch for her macaroni and cheese. I just had it last week.
What's the secret to making good
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh, okay.
Jen just shared her century-old
60-year-old recipe.
So for all of our listeners and viewers, Alene cooks just about 95% of everything from scratch, and there's nothing box made, and she doesn't like green stuff like zucchini. But
Do you put it in the crock pot or do you put it in the oven?
No, I put it in the oven.
Oven? Okay.
any secret ingredient that or
It's all about
What kind of cheese? Can you tell me that? That's usually the secret.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Good.
That's the secret. Nobody tell. Yeah.
It's fermented cheese. She just doesn't want to tell you. That's all.
No. We respect Alene. I mean, like I said, she has her own garden and she cans nonstop. So one day we will all try your mac and cheese, and we won't tell George because he was bragging on air.
Right.
Okay, so before I go to George or Eric or Becky, how many people here like deviled eggs?
I do.
One,
Yep.
2, 3. Yeah. The only reason I say that because Jen loves deviled eggs. Is it a necessity? I already know Jen's answer. Is it a necessity? A necessity to have deviled eggs on Thanksgiving?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Every
100%.
time.
Yeah.
Not
With-
here. No, John might want them.
Only if you want to wake up the neighborhood.
With or without paprika on top?
It's already bad enough. You're getting
With.
turkey farts.
With.
Add fuel to the fire with eggs.
No.
Fuel the fire with eggs.
So George,
I have a cookbook somewhere that has 50 different recipes for deviled eggs in it.
don't tell Jen. Don't tell Jen.
Oh,
I'll have to find
how do
it.
you have 50 different recipes?
It's literally like one of them is like just an example. One I remember, it's ham and cheese deviled eggs. So you put like bits of ham and cheese in it as well.
Oh, great.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
What's the difference? The size of the egg or what?
Back when my wife
The filling.
when she first started working for the state, she had to take an overnight position. So I was doing a lot of the cooking for the kids while she slept. So my mother-in-law just started ordering me these cookbooks from all over the place. And I have like crazy recipes for something. Okay.
Well,
But yeah. So, and it just happened to be in one of them. Like I said, there's like 50 recipes for deviled eggs to make them different.
Right.
interesting. I know Becky's off probably with one of the kids, but Eric, what is one dish that no matter what you have to have with Thanksgiving regardless? And do you make it?
Well, I would say the mashed potatoes. I've got it. You got to have it, and then you got to make them right. I mean, you can make them so many different ways, but honestly, I'm basic. You know, I just put the basic stuff. I don't add a lot of things to them. I just want them to be right. You know what I mean? Mixed up right, not too thick,
Nope.
not too thin, a good taste. You know, but you got to have mashed potatoes.
No lumps, right?
Right, exactly.
Get
Make sure the
yourself
potatoes are
potato-
done. No chunks. Nope.
What's that, Alene?
Get yourself a potato ricer. You will never
Potato.
get lumpy potatoes again.
Oh, okay.
I
Potato.
like lumps.
What is it? What is it again? A potato what?
Ricer.
Ricer?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before. Let's look it up. Is it like a flour grinder?
Mr. Hill talked about potato risers at home ec.
No, I think I heard Megan, Eric's daughter, in the background say, "Let's look." Was that your daughter? Say, "Let's look it up."
Yeah. Yep. Oh, geez, she's already onto it.
Look at.
Oh
Well,
my God,
show the rest of the class.
it almost looks like a salad shooter.
Oh, jeepers!
Potatoes and freeze it, and it looks like spaghetti
Okay,
coming out
enough.
the side.
Okay.
But when you mix them all up, they're nice and smooth. You never get lumps.
Oh, why does it not work?
No, I see it. Okay,
They're not
interesting.
expensive.
I've never heard of that before. Thanks for the. Yeah.
I don't. It's not showing up. You got your thing on blur.
No. We saw it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for that. Hey, Becky's back.
Yeah.
So, Becky, what's one dish? Just like everybody else answered, what is one dish that you routinely gotta have, and if you make it, what is it?
Green bean casserole.
Well, there's two there. My stuffing and my green bean casserole.
Okay.
They are both really good, and they're probably different than everybody else's. I mean, everybody makes theirs different. My stuffing starts out with sausage, breakfast sausage, and I add your typical stuff. You know, your celery, onions, poultry seasoning. You know, I put apples in it, and I use a bread that I make every year. Always make it for Thanksgiving, and now that I have my stuff going back here, it's cornstarch bread because everything has to be gluten free. And everybody that's had this stuffing thinks it is fantastic. It's not too hard. It's not too mushy. I never put my stuffing actually in the bird. I always cook it in a pan separate because it takes forever to cook in the bird, and then you get that slimy stuff inside, and I don't like it like that. So, but it's just that my dad made it like that, except he used regular bread. Now that I have to be gluten free, and so I've been making it like this for about 20 years, and it's fantastic. I had Charlie's aunt was there one day, and she thought John had made the stuffing, and she'd been eating it for about 15 years, and every Thanksgiving. And she looked at John and said, "John, what did you put in the stuffing? It's fantastic this year." And he said, "Ask Becky." And she said, "Huh?" And I said, "It's the same stuffing you've been eating for the last 15 years, Mary." And she's like, oh. She was telling her boyfriend that she had a chef preparing meals for her for Thanksgiving. I'm like, and
I think-
you know, and like for green bean casserole, I used to actually make my cream of whatever soups from scratch. I don't do that anymore because they now have them gluten free. But I used to grind up the mushrooms because my father-in-law hated mushrooms, but he loved my green bean casserole. So I would grind them up so you couldn't actually see them, but you could taste them. but I also used to fry my own onions because I couldn't find gluten-free fried onions. And now they sell them in certain areas. So I have those, and John and I are the only ones here that eat it, but I think it tastes better the next day. So we just have a little bit of stuffing, we just have a little bit on Thanksgiving, and the leftovers actually are what makes it taste better because it's been sitting and you get that flavor that permeates through it. I
Yep.
like it. Not everyone likes it, and you don't have to like it, but
No, some things are just an acquired
yeah,
taste.
if you were when I was growing up, my dad would actually make it with onion rings layered inside of the casserole, and I loved it. And I never knew what it was until I grew up, and he said, "No, it's just onion rings." I'm like, "Okay." Regular frozen onion rings. He would put them in the center and on the top. It was really good. But
Right.
it's and now that my parents are gone. I mean, I have my stepmother, but I don't even know where she goes for her dinner. I think she goes to her brother's house. But my my one sister goes to her in-laws, my other sister goes to a friend's house, my brother's out in California, and Charlie's family's all gone except for his two aunts that I don't speak to. So it's just John, me, and the kids. And you know what?
That's all
Not
you need.
it's not as stressful. No one's gonna yell at me if I don't have it done by 1 o'clock. You know, so
And that's the important part. The less stress. That's the important part. So
much less stress.
Well,
And I mean, the dog's here, and I'm sure. Oh, she's. What are you doing? She's rolling on their back, but she loves dinner, so Thanksgiving is extra special for her because she gets extra stuff. But
good.
it's just for us right now. It's being comfortable in our own home, whereas before we weren't as comfortable in our own home because we always had to pretend we were someone else because people were coming over. Now I don't
Right.
care. Now I
Yeah.
don't care. If I can't be myself in my own house in front of you, then I can't be close
Yep.
enough to you. You guys saw how trashed my kids made my house, and you didn't care. So you know what? That's good.
So
What?
one of the things
Oh,
that
shit.
I have made for years is it takes about 10 minutes. It's just a taco salad dip. I get one of those flimsy silver pan things, whatever.
Yeah.
And I get some cream cheese and a couple packets of taco seasoning. I mix that all together. And then I just layer it with cold stuff like tomatoes, cheese, onion, black olives. And then I just put taco sauce over it.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds like,
but
yeah.
But what I forgot though, so I take the taco packet and I open them over the cream cheese and I just spread that all in. And if my aunt is there, I buy the mild so it's not as spicy. But just before I forgot, the cranberry story was I think it was last year. My sister said she didn't make or buy cranberry sauce because nobody would eat it. Well, of course, yeah. So my father-in-law and we eat just the same amount of stuff. We love it. And so out of nowhere, my father-in-law was like, "Hey, where's that cranberry sauce?"
I liked it.
I liked it, yeah. So, but it's funny. So Jen and my brother-in-law will pick out all the onions and peppers out of the stuff.
What's in the stuffing?
Yeah. So,
Yeah. That's the best thing about Thanksgiving or any of the holidays when you have a dinner with your family or whatever, is you can try different things. You can get creative. You can taste things. You can do this because you have so much food, and it's the best time to do it. You know?
With at my dad's, what he used to do is, as the parade was going on, he was doing stuff out in the kitchen, and he'd have me set up the veggie tray and the relish tray, and we'd have all sorts of snacks, like a charcuterie board type thing. And it was basically whoever came in throughout the day, there was always something to munch on, and that's what we would do. And then if you showed up at dinner time, then grab a plate. And that's how it worked. And if you didn't show up at dinner time and you showed up at dessert, then that's what you had, or you made yourself a plate out in the kitchen. Whereas now we don't go crazy and make sure that everything's lined up perfectly, because you know what, the kids don't really care, you know.
Right.
Molly will. Neither one of them will touch the stuffing. Neither one will touch the green bean casserole. But they'll eat the turkey and the mashed potatoes. They won't eat the squash. And you know, all they want to do is get through so they can get to dessert. Molly wants a piece of each pie, and Casey just wants the whipped cream. So it's like, I never serve dinner rolls because I'd rather hog out on the food that I made than have bread.
Yeah. Before we go to commercial break, here's a question: white or dark meat?
Oh, white.
That's not nice.
I knew what Sideshow John was going to do. Okay, okay. So hold on. Okay, Alene, white or dark meat?
It's got to be white. I don't like dark.
Be careful.
Okay, Jen.
I like dark, but I'll eat the white.
Becky. Okay, Becky's not going to answer for a minute. Eric, do you want white or dark meat?
Oh boy, that's a trick question there. You're
Don't
setting me
forget,
up.
it's all pink in the middle.
Depends on what kind of meat you're talking about. Turkey?
Game on.
I really like the white,
Track, Jeff. Come on.
but the early part of the dark I like too. So
I bet.
on a turkey.
Okay, George, Mr. George, don't you look away from me. Tell all of our viewers and all of our fans, no, you look me dead in the eye, mister. Do you want, on Thanksgiving, do you want white or dark meat in your mouth?
You were in so much trouble when I said.
Wait till the commercial break.
Oh, yeah. I'll eat either one. It doesn't matter to me.
Attaboy.
Okay, I know Becky cannot hold it in any longer. Becky, what is your preference, white or dark meat?
On a turkey, my preference is the dark meat, but I like having the white meat.
Why the fuck do you say that?
It's later.
Here goes Sideshow John.
Sideshow John. Oh, wow.
On a comical note, John is half Greek, half Italian. Okay.
According to your daughter.
My daughter
You're right.
drew a picture of him with skin darker than dark. And she kept asking him why his skin was so dark. And she also drew this picture in front of her nurse that she had at school.
You're gonna go out.
And her nurse at school was a very beautiful woman. Dark skin from Panama with
Be
the
honest,
braids.
she's a black
She's
woman.
black, but she was
She's a black
so
woman, she's a
beautiful.
good-looking girl.
Oh my God. And she drew this in front of her aide there. And she's, Molly, why did you draw Dad that color? She goes, good, she's black. And I'm like, but compared to me and Molly and Casey, who are just as pale as I am, you know,
Right.
he does have darker skin, but it's like an olive color. So yeah.
All right. So, as you can see, Jen's letting Dozer out because she's probably out there bullying her because he knows what time it is. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk, other stuff that goes on at Thanksgiving, football, parades, and desserts. Don't go anywhere.
Dessert. And you're talking about black meat or dark meat?
Yeah, we are recording. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I am JK'z. I am here with Becky, George, Alene, Jen, and Eric. We are talking Thanksgiving, and George, you were in the middle of saying something before the recording stopped. You go ahead.
When you go back for seconds, do you like white or dark?
I like them both deep in my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you, can you tell by the microphone?
Yeah.
Becky.
That's just it.
And George, I was making eye contact with you.
All the ladies are speechless.
Sure
What's going on?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So after you were snacking, and I remember in the first part, Becky, you were saying about all the relish trays. I remember, I would eat so much of that I didn't really have enough room for all the stuff, and I'm glad that we don't have that much food anymore. But so after everybody's ate the main course and sitting whatever. What is the next step? I mean, is there some? Is everybody going to watch the parade? Some football? Alene, what do you do?
Usually I'm doing the dishes.
Oh,
Don usually goes hunting. And then we watch football.
okay. George, what about you?
We usually just sit and talk. Sometimes TV is on, but I'm not, like I told you, I'm not as much into football or anything anymore, so I don't really watch that. We do watch the parade, but then sometimes we even just put it on like Amazon Music on the TV and listen to music, holiday music or whatnot.
Right
We
on.
just
Right
talk and just talk,
on. Jen. Oh, you and I know what. So, after Lori clears all the table because she doesn't want any help. That's my sister. She doesn't want any help. What is our routine like?
Did you forget?
No, I just wanted you to tell.
Probably
Football?
forgot.
What's that?
Football.
Yep. Yelling at the TV because we usually have bets on it.
Drive home because I got to work in the morning. So.
So after it's always been a tradition that after dinner and everybody has dessert, whatever, we play games. Have you guys ever played left, right, center, LCR?
No.
Okay,
Wow.
so it's a dice game, and you got to have $3 to start, right? So let's say the six of us are playing, and I roll the dice, and it says, and they each dice says L, C, or R. I got to pass the dollar to the left, to the right, or into the middle. You keep going until the last person is standing with all the money. And years ago, there was a good 12 or 15 people playing at one time. If you do the quick math, yeah. Yeah. Or sometimes we'll play cards. We'll definitely watch football but that LCR, yeah. I mean, back in the day when I had no money and you're trying to win, $70. Yeah, that was and I'll never forget my brother-in-law's sister, Amy, her daughter, who was 10, won it 3 times in a row. I never wanted to punch a kid so hard. Just kidding. I didn't know. I'm just kidding. Eric, and then of course, because of what Jen does for a living, we go home at a decent time so she can get some sleep because she travels all over. So, Eric, what about you? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we just eat dinner and then we we kind of chill out, relax, watch football, sometimes take a nap because turkey does make you a little sleepy.
Yep.
especially that dark meat.
Yeah, exactly. Some are better than others.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sit down. We normally like desserts and stuff later on in the afternoon, and then watch football basically is what I do. And then we do get some games out at times. We play cards. We had relatives that come over. My wife would play with her sister, cards or whatever, like the solidarity or whatever they come up with. I'm not much of a card player myself. I watch football games, and I kind of miss those days with family. That's the one thing with family is that I don't have anymore. Because my parents are gone, and my brother lived. He was a long ways away, and so it's just basically myself or my son, or we do our things. My wife and my daughter do their things, and it's sometimes a quiet time, and sometimes you go outside and just do some activities, or just just kind of enjoy the time off, and just
right on.
Absolutely. And there is some very frustrating days when your team doesn't win. So
we're going to go there.
Yeah. Oh, you got to go there. You can't always win. I know all about that.
Yeah. I used to like you, Eric. Becky, no, Becky. What? I'm sure, like, just what I was meaning. I'm sure everybody clears the table and do the dishes, but after all that's done, Becky, what is your and John's time like?
Those are.
That's none of your goddamn business.
Jesus. Sideshow John. At it again. Take
No,
two.
we usually will put the TV on and we'll, like I said, we're watching Christmas movies and shows and, put the music on with the Alexa just to, just be there.
Hang
But
out.
we hang out. We don't really do much. If Casey's having a fit, we might go for a ride in the car just to drive around. But other than that, we don't really do much because it's, we're just home enjoying each other's company.
Right on, right on.
It's been a long time in the making, but I actually like to stay home and be with my kids. And even though they drive me nuts, it's just, it feels good to be able to stay home and be comfortable in your house and not have to worry about things as much.
Yep. Yep. Okay. After all that's done, and what is the first go-to dessert? Alene, take it away. What? I know that your house is just overloaded with desserts.
Usually everybody goes for pumpkin pie.
Wait,
Yep.
with or without whipped cream?
And
No whipped cream. Nasty. That's just dead.
That's like asking dark or white meat.
Well, that was an awkward silence. Thanks. George, what's your go-to dessert if you eat desserts?
Well, before it was something different, but probably 6 years ago, we were at my in-laws and she had brought all the pies out and I said, and she said that they were, that the pumpkin looking ones were different. She said, well, that one's pumpkin and that one's sweet potato. I hate sweet potatoes. Any way, shape, or form, can't stand them. Well, my mother-in-law was wrong, and I ate a piece of sweet potato pie and love it. And that's what I go for.
Nice.
I don't like sweet potatoes any other way except for that.
Jen, what's your go-to dessert?
Well, if I have room, it's just apple pie, if there is some.
Love your wife.
Where was Jen used to go? I don't know if it's still in business. Jen every year used to go up to Naples, to Monica's Pies. You guys ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Kind of expensive, but oh, so good, so good.
Yeah.
Becky, what? I know that you have to be careful of the sugar. What do you have?
We're still gonna make a pumpkin and we're still gonna make an apple.
Yeah.
I'll probably save the cheesecake for Christmas. I might make a cheesecake at Thanksgiving. It depends on how I'm feeling.
No, you won't.
But we don't really need a ton because it's just the four of us, and Molly will want a piece of each every time she goes for one. John will eat the apple but won't eat the pumpkin.
Yep.
Casey just wants the whipped cream. He doesn't really want the pie, so it's like there's no point in making huge ones. So we just make a small one of each and lots of whipped cream or Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Sorry, the Family Guy. I always
Cool Whip. Yeah, I know, but why are you saying the whip? Cool Whip. Yeah, Stewie. So multiple days of leftovers, or right? Multiple days of leftovers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's only a couple days here. Like I said, I don't go as crazy with the amount I make anymore. I mean, I used to have to make a double batch of stuffing and a double batch of cranberries and a double batch of the casserole, and we'd have this 20-pound freaking turkey, and it's like we don't need that anymore. So, the turkey's the big thing, but we're just doing a smaller pan of stuffing, a smaller pan of the green beans, The cranberry sauce is good. There's no point in making a ton anymore.
It's comfortable.
It's because it's just the four of us.
We don't
You know,
really need much of anything.
if I was hosting a meal, I'd be going a little more crazy. I mean, there's always an open invitation for my family, but my sister says, because I don't send her an engraved invitation, that I never include her. But
No.
you know, how things can be.
No, it's because of me, and I just smile about it.
You know, I know that several times we said about trying to get together and doing a friendversary dinner. I still think we should do that sometime, like a potluck or whatever.
We could do that. We did good over the summer. I just got to clean out that freaking dining room.
Yeah, find a place to do it. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, we know where it'll be at Becky's house.
Yep.
My house is huge, Eric. It's
easier for the kids.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. That's what they were doing. They were like, that way my kids are not destroying someone else's house. And I don't have to run after them because the front door and the back door are locked and they can't get out.
There's 5 different bedrooms in here. Plenty of room.
4 bathrooms.
So one of the things I've always noticed is, and my mom was, she was always, I don't know what. So after all the cooking and dessert, and people are sitting at the kitchen table or the dining room table, whatever, do you have to have a cup of coffee?
Yep.
Ew,
Yeah,
no.
absolutely.
Drink
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Drinking coffee.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
I'll have coffee with usually my whatever pie I'm having. It's apple pie, cherry pie, whatever. I don't know. I just like coffee. After
by the afternoon, I'm usually switched over to Diet Pepsi, but
it helps you stay awake.
Every now and then I like having that hot cup of coffee while you're just sitting back and enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, so my mom, and then obviously, I don't know if you all know my brother-in-law's mom and dad, but Mike and Cheryl, and then now my aunt and uncle. They always got to have like a cup of coffee. Just like, I don't know. We're usually there until 7 o'clock, Jen. And I'm thinking
that's their generation. That's the way they all were. My mom was the same. My mom and dad were the same way. So was my stepmother. They always had to have that cup of coffee. Charlie's parents, even Charlie, they always had to have that cup of coffee.
They didn't drink coffee. They drink tar.
Well, that was Martha. Martha used to make it on top of the stove with a percolator pot. But she would she would boil the crap out of it. And you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to boil it for half an hour or so. But what she would do is, later on, there's a little bit of coffee left, but she wants a little more. She might put a couple more grounds in and fill it up with water and then boil the crap out of the old grounds and the old coffee. And you could actually pour it out and it looked like chocolate syrup pouring out of the...
That's why I took that with her. I was going to Watkins Glen or Seneca Falls to get a Dunkin' Donuts coffee for that old lady.
Yep.
Because it would put a half-ass smile on her face.
Yep.
No, it was just you were talking about the coffee grounds. I don't know, like a month ago, I had stuck a pod into the Keurig and I closed it. I must have closed it too fast, whatever. I went to go take a drink of my coffee. There was so much grounds in there. I was like, yeah, so it just really, really weird. Yeah. And I know people that literally drink coffee like that, but
something like that would happen to me, and that would be the last coffee pod I'd have. You wouldn't have another one to make another cup of coffee.
So here's the funny thing about this Keurig. Ask Jen. So the biggest size is 10 ounces, right? I just bought it, whatever. It didn't matter. It is so retarded. I have to sit there and watch it 9 times out of 10 because it'll overfill the cup. And I have a mug like that, right? Yeah, I don't know. This weird technology. Kind of like my light behind me that doesn't want to work.
Oh, I like my Keurig because it's got the brewer. It's got the pot that you can brew, and it also has the pot on the side.
Yep.
So we can do both.
Yep.
That's what we got.
Inches.
So let's see. We got about like another 20 minutes.
I know.
So
you don't want to know.
Both of you guys are fucked
I think
up.
we should talk about
He didn't see the can. He didn't see you.
Go ahead, Eric.
we should bring up or have a discussion about
I got it.
things not to forget before Thanksgiving, because
Say that again.
things that you forget during Thanksgiving, like say you forget to buy something or you wait the last minute and you go to the store on Thanksgiving Eve and it's the stores are closed.
Butter.
Mhm.
We
Your
did that
sister that one year with the green beans.
Yeah. Well, we did
Yep.
that one year. We did that one year. We went up to my in-laws, my wife's side of the family, and we're like, yeah, we'll just grab all the stuff on the way home, right? And the one thing we had to get was the turkey. We waited to the last minute. Okay, it was a ham, I guess. But we forgot all about it, and we're coming
It
back.
happens.
Yeah, we go and all the stores are closed. There wasn't a store open. So I'm like, I've got a company come over tomorrow. We don't have nothing to eat. So I'm like, what are we gonna do? So my wife calls a close friend of hers. She's like, oh yeah, we got some stuff we'll give you. Come on down and pick it up. So
Aww.
and she brings it back home, and it was a piece of meat. Like it was like a pork piece of meat, whatever. She didn't really know what it was. It was in a freezer. She's on thought it'll be okay. So we on thought, and I put it in the cooker thing, and a couple hours go by, and all we do is just smell this terrible smell, like it was no good. So I'm like, we didn't eat it. It just was terrible. It had no taste. The smell was terrible. I'm like, I don't know what they gave you, but I'm not eating it. I don't know. It's like roadkill. I don't know what it was. So that was a holiday without any main course. Put it that way. So it was our own fault. We got to stop and get the stuff, and it is what it is,
Every year somebody forgets something. We know that.
Yeah.
Has anybody else ever had an experience where you forget something that's like a main ingredient and you can't do anything, right? Because there's really nothing open.
Right.
I can't think of any of them.
Forgot the whipped cream too.
So, I was thinking that we should share, like, if there was anything, hilarious that happened or embarrassed. I can't say names, but an individual that I work with said, and I'm not shitting you. Do you know that Thanksgiving is on a Friday this year because it's leap year?
No way.
You did it with someone who works with.
I can't say names, but yeah. I remember one embarrassing. And it was a classmate of ours. We lived in Lodi. And I was over to their house for Thanksgiving, and to me, they were the wealthy ones, and I was trying to cut the turkey, and I pulled the plate too far, and it went all over my lap.
Oh my god!
And after we're done recording, I'll tell you the name. And yeah. Anybody want to share embarrassing stories?
Not embarrassing. I don't really have anything embarrassing. Look, more embarrassing ones are at Christmas, so those are more fun. But this was not embarrassing, but it was just a weird coincidence. For years, I went to a chiropractor in Seneca Falls. He's retired now, and he grew up in Boston. And he was always talking about this Chinese restaurant. What city was it?
Route 1 in Saugus, Mass. It's called the Kowloon.
It was called the Kowloon. Yep, it was in Saugus, Mass. And so he would talk about this Chinese restaurant, and he would talk about the decorations and how good the food was. It's nothing compared to the stuff around here. And it was made me think, someday I might go there, or whatever. And many years later, John comes into the picture, after Charlie passes, and he tells me that his Thanksgiving tradition when he was a kid was they would go visit his grandparents, because in Everett, Massachusetts, because Nantucket is you got to take the plane over and go visit, and they would go to the Kowloon restaurant for Thanksgiving every year.
Wow.
It was kind of neat. And then when my chiropractor met John, he was like, those two, imagine two guys with a Boston accent that with mouths. It was just like, blah, blah. It was great. It was great. It was great. It's not embarrassing, but it's just a kind of cute story.
I like that. Anybody else? No.
Really?
Does any? Oh, go ahead. Who's talking? Anybody do Black Friday shopping or anything?
Yeah. On the
Nope.
computer.
Not in a long time.
I went once.
I used to, but I don't see the sense of getting up at 3:00 in the morning. And
No.
I used to go with my sister every year because obviously her kids were younger. And
To go on
Yeah.
Friday anymore. It starts Thursday afternoon.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I've done the Black
Like,
Friday shopping.
Black
Yeah.
late in the day Thursday. I don't know what you call it now.
I did it once at one store with my sister, and I vowed I would never do it again.
That's only because you're
so
And
Jen,
we were up in Canandaigua, and she wanted to go to Joanne Fabrics because she did all the crafting stuff, and the deals were starting. That place was a freaking madhouse. You got all these freaking, oh my god, I wanted to punch people, and I'm like, I am never doing that again. And that was
Yep.
1993. It was that
that's
Thanksgiving.
crazy.
And I said, I'm never going again Black Friday shopping, and I have not done it since. So,
Jen, you know how we always pick on my sister about getting banned from Kohl's? Black Friday shopping. No, so funny story. So we're out shopping, and when you buy stuff, you get Kohl's cash, but apparently there's an expiration date, and this awesome little teller, she was trying to be nice, and she's like, "Ma'am, you can't use it." And my sister's like, "Why not? I have Kohl's cash. Why can't?" And she's like, "They're expired." But my sister just got them arguing, and then I'm sitting there like, I walked out. And so every year we talk about what store are you getting banned from this year.
Right.
So another funny story. I have a friend, and several years ago, he had told somebody that we both know that him and his wife wanted to do Black Friday shopping, and our mutual friend said, "Yeah, you should." And he goes, "Yeah, I think we're going to go on Saturday."
On Saturday.
So,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, but I like Thanksgiving one because of the food, and I like football. But it's it's a good time to get together. As we've gotten older, I think we all said the same thing. People have passed on, and it's not truly the same. I mean, but it happens. But I know my sister tries to keep the thing going, which is important. So.
Oh yeah.
and
I mean-
I've got technically my first date with Charlie was on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Wow.
And then many years later, my first date with John was Thanksgiving.
I was forced.
I mean, Charlie was dead when John came over, but that was the first Thanksgiving without Charlie. And he said he was going to go to McDonald's and have a McChicken, and I'm like, no. I'm already cooking enough for everybody. My family's coming over early in the day, and I invited him over for later, and he had his Thanksgiving dinner.
Aw. But I think that we should try sometime to get us all together. This entire group that is part of this podcast. We'll meet at Becky's, and we'll each of us will just make something.
We did that over the summer, and it worked out great. We didn't have to fuss. We didn't have to worry. As long you guys know, anything I make will be gluten free. But half the time you couldn't even really tell, could you? I don't know. I mean, the cake and the macaroni and cheese that I made was gluten free. So
and of course George's smoked meat was tasty in my mouth, so I couldn't get enough. I couldn't get enough of it.
Like the chicken.
did you go for the white meat or dark meat that day?
Right.
Both.
Did
you like the chicken
You're both?
that day?
What's
Did
that?
You like the chicken? You like the
I did.
chicken that day?
Yes.
I do this thing with a turkey.
you do a thing
Okay.
with the turkey? Sorry.
Not in the shower, right?
Oh, so that leads it. So you put your turkey in that smoker?
You smoke the turkey before you put it in the hole.
Oh wow! I don't think I've ever had a turkey in a smoker. I've had a turkey in the oil thing that
The fryer.
Of course, my
I've
brother-in-law
had a
did
smoked
that.
turkey before, but I'd probably rather have one that someone made like George would make. It would probably taste
When I-
better.
Usually by the
When I
time
did
turkey
turkey,
sells,
it actually came out the juiciest turkey we've ever had.
Really?
Out of the soul.
We should try it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
My garage
So-
has power. You know, you can use the extension cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's gonna take your stuff when it's here.
Nope.
Somebody
But
comes
yeah,
over.
I mean, even if it's not around Thanksgiving, and I know we have Christmas coming up, even if we do something, next year, I think we should just all get everybody together and do like a potluck. I think it'd be really cool.
It'd be fun.
So,
My kids love having you guys come over.
especially Kate. Yeah, Molly likes Jackie because she calls her the
dog.
dog. Yeah,
Dog.
the dog. And it didn't help It didn't help matters when I said that she dragged her butt across the floor, but
Molly does that all the time.
Yeah.
but so listen, I'm going to open as I always do, the discussion. Alene, why don't you just go ahead and just give some whatever comments you want about Thanksgiving or what it means to you.
Well, hopefully this year turns out to be a pretty good one, because I'm going to have some people missing from the table. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay,
Hope you
appreciate
guys
it.
have a great.
Thank you, George.
Just the fact that we'll have all of our kids together. Pretty much since my daughter moved out. I mean, we see her, we talk to her all the time, but we don't see her as often as we used to, even though she only lives about 6 miles away, but we don't see her as much. She's busy doing outdoor things. Her and her boyfriend, they do a lot of outdoor stuff, and we're just not around as much.
Okay. Jen.
I don't know. I just hope I don't have to work all day, and I hope my parents can come and join us for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and we had talked about if they couldn't, we would just do something small here. Eric.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it really simple this year. But the meaning of Thanksgiving is just being together as a family and try to enjoy a meal together and appreciate what we got and lucky we have what we have and go on to the next day. It does make it tough when people have to work, but you make the best out of it. And we're really honestly this year we talked we're gonna be pretty simple. We might not even cook a turkey this year. I don't know. We've done it for many years and it just it's probably won't. Just keep it simple.
Absolutely.
We'll still have a good day and we'll get something to do and make the best out of it.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Becky and John, what do you? The last one is for you guys.
I do whatever she says.
Good answer.
Yeah, we're just keeping it simple here too. The traditional fare, we're not going to go out of our way unless I find some spectacular recipe that says I have to try this. It's all stuff that I know I like and stuff I know the kids like. That's what we're making. As for John, he'll eat just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And honey is just going to sit there and beg the whole time. And we're probably just going to snuggle up with her because she is just the cutest freaking thing. Did you guys see her picture in the pajamas with her big fat ass? I thought it was cute.
I just thought of something. Jeez.
Yes.
How do we forget our pets? What's everybody feed their pets any of their holiday or any of their Thanksgiving food? You fix like a plate for your pet, and give them something special.
No, because those are.
Yes, pancreatitis. He can't eat all that. So.
Oh, okay.
That's a good question. What about you, George and Alene?
All 4 of ours get pieces of turkey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ours get some. Yeah, but we don't make them a special plate or nothing.
No.
Right.
Yeah, honey just sits here and begs from everybody.
So doesn't dozer.
It's whatever Casey drops on the floor or whatever she can con out of John and me. before when I had my Akita, my in-laws would actually make him a plate.
Wow.
Well, he was 130 pounds and about the size of a human being, so it was like he was he was their grandchild before we had kids. So,
Of course. I mean, if I could put Dozer at the table, I'd set him a friggin' plate. I don't care. But
Honey
so
would love it.
When you get the $3,000 vet bill, you come.
Yeah.
talk to me
No.
then.
So I'm just gonna close this with this year. I don't know. I think somehow we all just came together for this show. I know that Jackie is not. She was busy tonight, and Craig has been handling his business. But we also have Bill Verity and we have Beth Brown. We had Sean Karen on. We're just lining up shows after shows after shows. We're bringing new people in. We also had Deb come on as well. So one thing I just want to say thank you to everybody that has helped some way somehow with this show. It doesn't matter if you just share our link or tell people. That just really I appreciate it so much. And I hope that Alene, your day goes spectacular with no hiccups. George, I hope that your daughter comes around. You get to see her even if it's brief. Jen, we're gonna lose some money because we suck at gambling, but we're gonna have deviled eggs. Eric, I hope that I don't know, probably you. No, I'll probably have to make them. Yay, shit. Yeah. There'll probably be eggshells in it. Eric, I hope that whatever you and the family do, I hope it's memorable. Can't wait to see all the pictures. And Becky and John, I hope that whatever you guys plan on doing, it's just special, and I can't wait to see all the pictures. And I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day. We had another 10-minute friggin' technical difficulty issue. We don't know why. Fire that tech guy.
Yeah.
Whoa! Wow!
He's
Wow!
real
So
asshole.
salty. No, but I'm gonna let you guys go. I know football's on, or is Gordon Ramsay on? Alene, which one is it?
On. And
She's
I gotta
already
go put
late.
on.
Shots fired. No, no. But thank you all. We don't know what we're doing next Thursday, but we'll play it by ear. We'll get it going. But if some of you cannot be on the show, I want you to know that you're always in our thoughts. We hope that you have a great Thanksgiving. I love you. Thank you, and I will talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
See ya.
Mate.
Don't hang up.